floor isn't.
Well then, if death is what you seek, then I will gladly provide it!
There is no reason to be hostile, Your Majesty. In fact, you should be proud. Your son is moments away from inheriting the throne.
Dale!
I tried, Father!
What do you want with us?
How shall I explain this? I'm gifting your son with my knowledge. It will make him the most powerful ruler your world has ever known. And he will answer to no one but me.
No! Murderer!
Prepare the Snatcher.
A crisis has befallen our world. For centuries we have depended on the Kingdom Stone, but its strength is fading. It cannot keep up with our growing demand for energy. The Prince of Shuiga, poisoned with madness over the death of his father, has bred machines across the land to steal energy from other kingdoms. Tensions are growing, and I fear that war may be inevitable.
Ferdinand Planets! I'm sorry. It's just that everyone else was being so loud, I felt like joining in. So anyway, this is Freedom Planet, a game I've been looking forward to for a long time. I've been playing the shit out of it since it came out. I love this game. I'm finally getting to this LP. So here we go. This is such a nice theme song. I do like the older version of it a little better. But anyway, I'm gonna do the story mode, but it's not just gonna be one character. I'm gonna show little bits from all of the characters' stories, though we'll get into that as it goes on. I'm not going to be talking much during the cutscenes, but I will talk a little bit here and there. So someone sabotaged this evil alien warlord's ship, and there he is right now.
Some other time? Not a chance! Fine, I'll go by myself. Maybe.
So we're going to be playing through this stage as Lilac. I find her to be the most fun to play as in general, but I'm not just going to be playing as her throughout the entire thing. But, you know, we'll introduce to the game with her. So this is Dragon Valley. I quite like this stage. I think as far as intro stages go, this is one of the really good ones. I think it's on par with ones like the opening stage from Mega Man X even. There's just so many opportunities to learn how to use all the little tricks. You don't need any text boxes telling you what to do here or there. You see ledges and you want to, see how you can get to them and whatnot. And it doesn't always have to be by jumping. It's like, there are little ways you can experiment, like this right here. The game actually rewards you for breaking it with all these little tricks, and that's what I quite like about it. By the way, yes, I am going to be collecting all of those tiles as we go throughout the game, if I can. It's pretty easy to get all the ones here, they're just a little out of the way. You don't really get anything for collecting the collectibles, except for bragging rights, but I generally find them pretty fun to look around for. Anyway, we just got Invincibility Powerup. This is the Invincibility theme, I think it's pretty nice. Anyway, you have to be really precise at places like that, and I managed to get another one. Yeah, one of the things about Lilac's playstyle that doesn't go so much for the other ones is, like, her physics. They're pretty wonky, and you can use her Cyclone ability to reach places that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. Because it's kind of like, it gives you a little boost through the air, like that. And it's just so much fun to try to pick up speed when going down a slope, or You know, just using it when you hit a spring to send yourself shooting up higher than you normally would. It's just, again, it's a game that encourages you to experiment with little tricks like that, to do things that you aren't supposed to do, you know? And I just love those kinds of games. It's like the whole thing is actually built around it. It's not like they intended for you to play a certain way and you can do this other stuff. No, they actually did kind of intend for you to mess around with a game and see whatever crazy tricks you could pull off. Because there are all sorts of little things scattered here and there that you wouldn't expect to find, but are there anyway. Like there's this one spot in Fortune Knight that just cracked me up when I first saw it, but you know, I'll save that for when it comes. So yeah, Lilac has pretty crazy controls. She's a very combat-oriented character. I mean, they all are. This is pretty combat-oriented gameplay, but I love how she fights. She's very quick. She basically like slices through enemies with her head whip things. She can do an uppercut. She can dive down and kick enemies. She can, well, one of her craziest abilities is to shoot through the air like a comet. And you can choose which direction to go in. The only directions you can't go are straight up and straight down, but you can go diagonally up and down. So yeah, it's a pretty handy way to get to places. And when you hit a wall and that meter isn't empty and you can still keep dashing, you can, you'll bounce off the wall and go even higher. Right there, I just wanted to experiment again and show you how high you could go. I just love going up really high. Anyway, this is the Snick Mount. He's the mid-boss and main boss of this level. We fight him twice. This first confrontation is pretty easy. You just have to hit all the plates on his back and then hit his head once. I couldn't quite pull it off here, but if you do this on one of these slopes, your uppercut can make it look like you're tackling him, like you're a football player or something. I found that pretty funny. So anyway, already we're at the second round of this stage. Boy, this is flying by pretty quickly. I don't usually manage to do that, but I managed to pull it off that time. This recording actually went pretty well. Oftentimes, you know, there's the LP curse, where you practice something like 5 times, and then when you record yourself, suddenly you're just screwing up everywhere. This is like well, I've actually lost count of how many test recordings I've done. This isn't the first. I did a few just to make sure that fraps would work nicely, and there's another spot that I just couldn't resist, you know, screwing around with. Anyway, I'll show you what's up there with another character in a little bit. But anyway, so yeah, this isn't the first recording I've done, but when I did this, I was like really tense. I didn't know how it was gonna go, but this actually went surprisingly well. Anyway, there are 10 of those collectibles, those star tiles, I guess I'll call them, in each level. They usually tend to be 5 in one round, 5 in the other, so, you know, you can usually tell how far along the stage you are by, like, the numbers of them. Though a couple of them are misnumbered, like that one was labeled the 10th of those tablets, even though it's like the 7th we found in order. I don't know, it's just one of those weird things. Anyway, so that kind of threw me off when I got to the end of the level and I was wondering, where's the 10th one? And I realized I'd already gotten it. Anyway, that yin-yang symbol thing we just found, that's not like really a collectible. There's one of those in each level. I'm not going to find all of them throughout the game because I don't know where all of them are. But when you do find one, you unlock a bonus room at the end of the stage. I'll be showing that at the end of the video. So there's another tile. Again, the ones in this stage are pretty easy to find. It's just it's like there to show you that yes, there are collectibles lying around, and you know, like challenging you to find them later on in the game. This is just so nice. The scenery is really nice, the music is really nice. It's just a great intro stage, because it is like surprisingly long, even though you can get it over pretty quickly. It's just, there's so much going on in it. They cram so many nice little set pieces, waterfalls, lakes, you know, they're underwater sections, but they're over quickly enough that you don't have to worry about, like, drowning the first time you try. It's got just enough of everything and not too much of anything. By the way, you can basically one-shot that guy if you use her comet ability. Like, how do I say this? Before you shoot off, you can like charge it up for a little bit. Oh, watch this! I love doing that. If you do it like right in front of an enemy and you linger in front of them before letting go and shooting forward, you'll be tearing through them. You'll see me do that more later on. But anyway, here's another crazy trick I love to do. That doesn't always work. And again, somebody say, "Oh, this game is so buggy, this game doesn't work, you shouldn't be able to do stuff like that." Well, rest assured, it's all very intentional. Stuff like that isn't an accident. The people who made this game want you to do crazy things like that. That's part of the fun of it. Anyway, the end of the stage has this crazy boulder chasing you, and usually I do get hit by it at least once. This is a pretty forgiving section. I don't think you're very likely to die from it unless you just can't get going. It just keeps hitting you and hitting you. But there's enough places where there's ledges and it stops that you should be able to make it through here no problem. Anyway, this is a really great boss fight as far as the first boss goes. It's not that hard, but it's really fun. It's exciting just because of how crazy it is. I love the shape of the battlefield itself. I love the falling rocks. And the music. They don't use this theme for every end stage boss, but it's just one of several 7 great boss themes you'll see as we go on. Anyway, this battle's over pretty quickly. The second time he doesn't get as many of those scales. The last time he doesn't get any. You just gotta hit his head 3 times. And that's the end of the stage, just like that. However, we're not going to the bonus room or the next area just yet. I'm not going to do this with every stage, but now I want to show you a bit of what it's like when you play as Carol.
I better help.
So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys a bit of how Carol plays here. I'm not going to go into too much detail about all the little tricks because we'll get to see more of her later on. But there is one very cool feature that I'm going to show off here. It's one of the things that really makes her stand out. There is one other playable character, but at least so far, but she doesn't go to this stage. This stage is exclusive to Lilac and Carol. And it does seem to be made for them more than her, with all these long stretches and whatnot. Anyway, as you can see, Carol gets a motorcycle. She also has insane upper body strength, and yes, this thing can go up walls. It's kind of a joke of the whole thing. I think maybe this is the one part of the game that was kind of an accident in early demos and whatnot. But then they realized, you know what, this is insanely fun to do. Let's not take this ability away. It doesn't hinder the gameplay or make it super glitchy or whatever. It's actually fun to do. It gives the players more options. They can try more things to get around the level. Anyway, I showed you guys the higher route as Lilac to get more tablets earlier. Now I'm just showing you a bit of the lower route. I'm not going to show you the whole stage, you can see me doing jump cuts and whatnot. I'm just going to show you some of the coolest parts of the stage, some of the parts I really like to play through as Carol. The motorcycle can take 3 hits before it's destroyed, so when you take on a guy like that, it's wise to just jump off. I mean, you can attack while on the motorcycle, you can use your claws. Even the motorcycle, when you do this double jump, kind of spins around and cuts through enemies, and it's crazy. But I wouldn't advise, fighting too much while on this thing. In the early demos, just 1 hit was all it took to take this thing away. And it made a really cool challenge to try to make it all the way to the end of the level without losing the motorcycle, and it was really rewarding. But I do have to admit, I do appreciate the extra hits. Anyway, I just want to show you this little thing here. Yes, you can actually leave the motorcycle there and use it instead of a block to make that door open. Just a nice little way to save some time that you may end up actually losing sometimes since you can't go through the rest of the level, well, at least, not all of it with a motorcycle. The motorcycle doubles Carol's speed, and she gets a crazy boost ability, and it's just really fun to try to speed through these stages like mad with a motorcycle once you find it. Anyway, yeah, you saw those red pads a couple of times throughout this, and Carol can use those to hop along from one to the next to the next. Lilac and the other playable character we'll meet in a little bit don't have that power. And yes, this motorcycle can not only go up walls, it cannot even go up ladders, which I already find hilarious, but it can even go underwater, and has a little propeller and whatnot. This thing is insane. I don't know if Carol just got this from some guy, I don't know if she stole it or built it or whatever, but it is so game-breaking. You can even do that. You don't even just go up walls, you can climb practically on a ceiling. And yes, she makes a total joke of this section with a boulder. I swear, Carol is really, really fun to play as in some stages. As the game goes on and it gets super tough, it's more bearable with the Lilac, we'll just say that for now. But for scenes like this, oh man, it is just so much fun to play as Carol on her motorcycle. She could really give Ralph a run for his money. If you got that reference, you get a cookie. Anyway, I'm not going to show you how this whole boss fight goes, but again, yeah. So here's the bonus room. Depending on how many of those colored orb things you get throughout the level, you can hit these, at least a few of these dies. Sometimes just one. Again, it depends on how many of those you get. But usually you get some shield or even a couple of extra lives. So anyway, I'll go into that more later. Here's another cutscene.
Games with me, duckling. Tell me.
Fine, be that way.
Shah! Where's that blasted Snick Mount? I guess we'll have to do this the hard way. I can do this all day. What is this hideous creature?
Stay back!
Oh no! The Duckman comes with me!
I'm not gonna let you eat him!
What? What the?
I think this cutscene is very well put together because this guy actually uses all of the attacks you see him using in this cutscene when you fight him later on.
Whoa, that was a close one. Thank you, Miss,
Lilac.
Miss Lilac.
Are you okay? I saw a huge explosion back there.
You've been following me this whole time, haven't you?
Duh.
I take it you know this guy.
Girl.
This girl?
She's like my tail, always right behind me.
Carol the Wildcat, at your service. And this is Lilac.
Well, I'm Torque. I'm a shell duck.
Shell duck?
It's more of a nickname. I'm not exactly from around here.
So what are you doing out here? The skies haven't been safe for days.
Someone is about to steal the Kingdom Stone, and I have to stop them.
The Kingdom Stone. That's impossible.
Yeah, only I could steal it.
You wish.
Well, it's already happening. Marizawa's sending troops in disguise to the ancient temple. I have to warn them.
Carol and I are pretty fast. We could run over there for you.
Seriously?
Yup, I've got a motorcycle and she's a dragon. They're like super fast.
Turn straight.
Well, it's worth a shot. Hurry over there before it's too late.
What about you?
I'll catch up with you as soon as I find all my stuff.
Right. Come on, Carol.
See you for part 2, guys.